Hey everybody, so this is my first planner video. I've really been wanting to do this for a couple weeks now. I was waiting on equipment to come in, and then I just kept on talking myself out of it. So today I am going to do a little video flip through with you of my two main planners. I did write a blog post about how I Frankenplan these last week. And so I actually have made some very slight changes since then. So I thought a video would be a really good way to show you guys how I put together multiple planners into my everyday planner and my blog planner. These are my two most frequently used planners. And of course, because I am who I am, I just couldn't leave them be the way they were. I had to have them work and reconfigured so that they would benefit me the most. So first I'll show you my classic. This is my everyday mom household planner. Pretty much anything that doesn't have another separate specific planner goes in here. So I have a small obsession with sticky notes. So I have sticky notes here in the front. I have sticky notes here. And I have a whole bunch more sticky notes way back here in the back. So yeah. The problem is because they're stuck on the beginning and end of my planner, I sometimes forget I have them and I don't utilize them. So then I am like kicking myself when I have to reschedule something. So, that's always fun. So at the beginning, I love this inspiration card. I actually laminated it because I knew that I would want it in my planner all the time. It says, if you think my hands are full, you should see my heart. For those that aren't familiar with me on social media or haven't read my blog, I do have 6 kids, 5 of them still at home. So that was very fitting, I thought. So I kind of have a problem sticking with one planner because I like all the layouts, and I'll be like, okay, this is my layout that I'm going to stick with, and then I'll go on like Instagram or YouTube and see somebody decorating a spread with a different layout than what I have. And then I'm like, oh, that's cool. You can really do a lot with that kind of a spread. And then I'm like, I have to have that spread. So what I have done is this planner, I still have one more coming that's a horizontal. But in this planner, I have the Supermom dashboard layout. I have the socialite with the color blocks. I have a regular vertical planner that I'll show you later that's kind of in its own little section, a wellness planner extension. And then I ordered the Jujube Mom horizontal, and what I'm going to do to try to avoid my indecision is every month or every couple of weeks switch my layout so that I don't get tired or burn out on doing one thing and I can have the fun of all of them. So this is something that I really, really liked about the socialite because I do have a very thick planner with a lot of stuff in it. I like having the option of having the year at a glance here with all your dates, and you can just kind of pencil things in. That way when you go to stick another section, another month in your calendar, you can just take a quick look at this and figure out what you need to transfer there to your monthly view. So I really, really like that. So I started this with November. Ignore that. That'll get moved up to January when it's time. But I started with November, and I used the Supermom, the dashboard layout extension for November and December. So I had to, date my calendar and all that. So here's more of these adorable Supermom cards. Love them, love them, love them. So I have my monthly here, and then of course my first couple of weeks I just had the Supermom layout. So where was I? So this is this week's. I kind of got inspired by the colors and the socialite and kind of did like a blues and pinks here. And I've really been trying to do more decorating with the dashboard layout, but it's kind of hard because your boxes are so much smaller. This is the socialite dashboard, or not dashboard, sorry, dry erase. I do use the Vis-a-Vis wet erase markers in here, and this is just my our Saint Bernard recently had a spot in his leg that he was just eating to pieces, and we had to take him to the vet, and these are all his medications. So I did this on here so I could remember what medications he gets, how many times a day, and what dosage and all that. So what you'll notice here is when I flip over here, I have the socialite layout. So this is next week's. I do need to redate it because it's off by 1 day, because this is actually a 2019 planner. So I'll probably put a sticker over that and whatever. So I have that layout in here for the next couple of weeks. Then I have my December. And then because I had already decorated the dashboard extension for December, so pretty. You gotta love the gold glitter. Oh, so pretty. So I decided to stay with that for my first week of December. And then what I did was I glued the back of this dashboard layout and the back of this socialite layout together. So, all right, I'm sorry, I didn't glue it. I used the double-sided craft tape. So I did that, and then I have socialite for a couple weeks, and then I go back to, these will actually get stuck together, and then I go back to the dashboard layout, and then just for a few days this, and then in here, so I got the Christmas extension, but there are sections of it that I don't really think that I will use, so I just check out the sections that I thought would apply to me and be useful to me. And for now, because I am not really using that yet, I probably will start using it more towards the end of the month when we start our Christmas shopping and planning and things like that. I put one of the elastic bands around it just to keep it so I don't have to flip through all the sections, so I know that whole thing is Christmas. And then of course I have the socialite in here for January, and I went ahead and stuck all socialite in here for now. But like I said, that will probably change. I do have a horizontal coming, so I'll probably switch back and forth between that. So then, back here, you see this little tab right here, I have a home management section that is still in the works. Trying to develop a little bit better of a chore system, keep track of what needs done when. So I started by just, these are pages from the Supermom, and how they actually look is like this. So this is on the front and this is on the back, and what I did is I photocopied so I'd have front and back of just this, and then I made one for each area of my house, and then put down everything that needs to be done in that room on a regular basis, and then color coded it to daily, weekly, and bi-weekly. So like I said, still working on that. It kind of fell off the priority list this week. And then I have the planner cover from the socialite in here, because this whole section back here is a wellness extension. And I'm trying to kind of use this. I was inspired by At Home with Kita, and she was using the wellness planner as a personal development planner. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out how that's going to look for me. My first week, I figured I would use my monthly spread as kind of a gratitude journal and just write down something I'm thankful for every day. And then my first week, I was kind of just experimenting, and I decided that I didn't really like that so much. So this week I'm just kind of winging it. I do want to put my moods every day and, you know, see how that correlates to what's going on. But the top, I'm trying to kind of focus on, you know, things to celebrate, things that went well that day. This little section might be, you know, things that didn't go so well or things I need to work on or whatever. And then just the bottom, I'm just using it as it's written. So I have a few months of that in the back. And then of course, in the very back is an extras tab. And then I just have a few random full sheets stuck back here. And then of course my sticky notes and all that in the back. So that is my everyday planner. And that's kind of my reasoning and my method behind my madness, so to speak, on how I'm making that work. Next, I will show you my blog planner. So I just started blogging again about a month ago. Really started hitting it hard 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so I decided that if I was going to achieve my goals that I sought out to achieve with my blog, that I needed to really have some kind of organization to it. So this cover is from the No Drama Llama. It's a monthly layout, but I actually am not using very much of that layout, and I'll just kind of show you what I'm doing here. So of course in the beginning, the year at a glance, and then again it says January because eventually that will get moved to the front. I'm taking a class right now called Blogging Blast Off, and so the front is just notes and different printouts and stuff from that. And then I purchased a really awesome printable ultimate blog planner from Etsy. I don't recall the name of the shop right now, but I will try to look that up for you and post a link in the comments if you're interested in getting one. So all these little black and pink printables, which actually match my No Drama Llama colors very well because it's kind of a black and pink layout, I got from there. So at the front I have, you know, key blogging dates that I might need to remember, and then at the end of every month I'm trying to track my stats so that I can kind of see you know, my growth and know what goals to set and what's attainable. So then I have November monthly layout, and what I initially was going to do was to do 2 monthlies and do one for content and one for marketing. I kind of just decided that that's silly because I really don't put that much on here. So for next month, I'm just going to do the 1 monthly layout. So then I kind of have my my tasks separated into administrative, you know, kind of behind the scenes, businessy type things that I need to do, content related, write, publish, and polish. And then at the bottom, I have promotion, which is more like social media, different things like that. So obviously there's not a lot on here yet because I am at the beginning stages and just kind of figuring everything out. So that's kind of what I'm using. I'm using a big vertical for this. And of course this is this week. It's getting a little bit more full, you know, a little bit more involved. I set myself some goals over here for my social media. And so yeah, and this is next week that I just started working on getting dated and laid out. And then I have this really nifty printout. Oh, sorry, and this was just an undated vertical that I was using here. I printed this out, and this came from the blog planner as well, and laminated it because I'm going to move it into the back of every month so that I can just tear this out, you know, and refer to it and check off a dry erase marker if I want or whatever. Every time I write a post, it has kind of like a checklist of things to do. So then, you know, December, it's kind of a mishmash. I was still kind of trying to figure out. So I just have the verticals and then my monthly stats at the back. And then starting in January, I've started using my monthly views from the No Drama Llama. I just freaking love the color scheme and the font and everything about this. What I'm not crazy about is the monthly layout with all the lists. So what I did is I took the monthly overview here for from the No Drama Llama and put that at the front. And of course on the back of this page is start your daily to-do. So I left one daily to-do in there so I could just kind of jot and keep a list. Then I start inserting the vertical. So what I ran into is that the back of this page is a monthly, and then the back of this divider is a monthly. So I cut off the tab here and craft taped these two pages together. And what I'm kind of thinking that I might do with this is every month kind of have some kind of goal setting or like a vision board or something, you know, a theme for every month, and that's what I'm going to put on this page. We'll figure it out when it actually starts happening. So then of course I have all my weekly layouts. And then at the back I have my currently page that came with the vertical planner, and then my monthly stats tracker, and then begins the next month. And that's kind of how I have this whole thing set up. I do have everything in here through December of 2018. And then when you get back here, sorry, these metal rings kind of are tricky sometimes, especially when you have pages taped together. So I use this divider back here, and I honestly don't remember what planner I grabbed this from. And I just stuck a grid page, tape that on the back of there. And then I have my a whole bunch of printouts from that printable Etsy planner that I was telling you about. So this is all, you know, oh, it's got so many things on here, and I don't know that I will use all these forms, but everything I thought that I might utilize or that might come in handy, I did print out and have started using some forms. So that all that's in the back, and then as I use these, I'll move them into whatever, you know, week or month they're applicable to at that point in time. So that's kind of what all that looks like. I mean, there's so many forms. It's a really great planner. I will make sure to link it below. And then in the very back, I kind of have like things that apply to yearly. So I have my yearly overview, my analytics, my yearly finances, you know, anything that is a year overview is in the very back here. And then I just have a few note pages. So that is what I have done and figured out for use of my blog and business planner. One more quick thing I will show you guys is I tried several different ways of kind of keeping my full sheets and half sheets and sticky notes and all those little, you know, accessories that, you know, you just kind of feel like you have to have them. And what I ended up doing was making these little books. I had all these extra rings. So this one, these will both actually, this will eventually actually have two covers on it. I just utilize the other one in my classic planner. But I do have that other planner coming, so it will probably go on the front of here. So in here, I just have sticky notes, envelopes, little note pages, and then all of the different whole sheets that I have a few of each of those stuck in here. And then I just have the extras put up in a drawer. So when I need a full sheet, you know, I can just grab this and I know everything's here, and I can just pull out what I need and use it and stick it in my planner, you know, wherever I need it to apply. So that's kind of what I did with that. And I did the same thing for my half sheets. I just used 2 dashboards because that's what I had at the time. And I've got all my little half sheets in here. These are from the Socialite accessory pack. So I got meal plans, note sheets, checklists. I have memory keeping pages. So that's what I did with that. So these sit in my desk in a little cubby, and when I know that I need a sheet, I just grab one of these out and get what I need and go on from there. One other quick thing I wanted to show you. I did mention that I utilize bits and pieces of the No Drama Llama in my blog planner. There were a lot of pages that I didn't use, and I was just looking at the stack and I thought, man, it's really a shame that I can't find some way to utilize these. And then a light bulb went off and I thought, oh, I have a punch, you know, I have a craft cutter. Why don't I cut these in half? I didn't know if it would work until I started doing it. And some of them turned out better than others, but basically I have a little variety here of different kinds of sheets. Some of them were already punched because it came off the left-hand side of the paper. But you know, I have, you know, these are a half of an actual sheet from the planner, and then I have several that are, you know, that I had to punch myself, and they ended up being, you know, just a note page on the front with a checklist on the back. And I love the color scheme. I couldn't not do something with them. So that's just kind of, if you have a planner and you have guts left of it and it's just sitting around and you think, oh, what a waste, you know, get creative with it. You can come up with something. So now I have a whole bunch more little half sheets that can come in useful at some point. So they're not wasted. So that's just something I wanted to show you. I thought it was pretty clever, and I just kind of came up with it on my own. So that pretty much wraps up this video. So that's half of my planner stash, and I actually had a budget extension in my classic and decided that if I was going to start, you know, mishmashing different planners together and gluing pages together, that it was already really thick. Like, I could barely get it closed. So I knew that I was going to have to either take out months or do something. So I decided to take out my budget extension and stick it on its own set of rings with covers. And so I have a separate budget extension. Honestly, I've not been very good about using it, but the desire is there, the motivation is just not. So hopefully that's something I can maybe revisit at the first of the year, and, you know, maybe set a resolution to stick with it this time. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Next video I will try to do a flip through of my other two planners, which are a big memory keeping, which I have vertical memory keeping and a horizontal in that, and one I use for journaling and one I'm trying to use as scrapbooking. And then my other is my homeschool planner. So when I do another video, I will give you guys a flip through of those. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and thanks so much for watching my video. Have a great night.